3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, June 17th, 2019. I'm going to offer you a quick video on Bitcoin to kind of track where we are right now. There's a pretty key pattern in play, in my opinion, on the 4-hour chart. I want to dig into that a little bit with you. So let's start this video. I want to start with a tweet I tweeted yesterday around 12:20 p.m. I said, tracking Bitcoin busted rising wedge with a target above 12,000. Many similarities between beginning of May pattern and now. Most resistance around 9,455. Bitcoin has a very clear path to and through 10K. So this is what I tweeted yesterday. This is the picture. You can get a glance of where Bitcoin was at that point. You see that resistance right there at 9,455. And since then, obviously, we've gotten another daily candle in formation, right? So that daily candle, 9,422. Just below, we wicked up, and we can kind of zoom in here so you can see this very close to where resistance is, and it's confluent with the lower trend line of this rising wedge that we've been tracking. This is namely the rising wedge that we're looking to see if it completes to become a busted rising wedge, right? So we had this breakout, which could potentially be a false breakout to the bottom. We're revisiting the lower trend line, which we love from a conservative approach to these markets. We love revisiting trend lines that we've broken below to see what happens, right? We could have resistance here, which is what we're really keeping an eye on, in where we actually have a continuation down, and this rising wedge target is met in the $7,000 area or $7,500 area. Now, the flip side of that is a busted wedge, right? That's where we actually come back through the bottom trend line, we break it. It's very similar to what happened back here, and we had a huge bullish move for Bitcoin when that happened. Now, what does that look like on the upside? You see it on the daily target of over $12,000. Obviously, there are some stepping stones for us to reach that area. Right now, the first stepping stone is that resistance we talked about yesterday, right around the 9,450 area. Currently, Bitcoin's trading at 92.43, so we're just below it. We're not far. That can happen in minutes where we're actually breaking through that area. That's what we want to look out for. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because if we pivot to the 4-hour chart, here's kind of where we are. We're looking at a kind of ascending triangle of sorts, but what's most important is the fact that we are really in that 70%, 75% to the apex of this triangle area, which is essentially usually where Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you're tracking breaks out of this pattern. Now, we know that probably around 60 to 70% of the time we get a bullish break to the upside in an ascending triangle. That does not mean we can't break to the downside, but right now I think it's really important going into tonight to track this and see what happens. Which area we're going to break through, upside, downside. This is a 4-hour chart, so there's not a huge amount of data. This isn't the biggest pattern, right? This is only extending back to yesterday, or end of June 15th, end of day right here. And it's something, though, that I think would be important simply because if you see the breakout target to the upside, it's right at around $10,000, a little bit higher than $10,000. Maybe more importantly, it's confluent with the upper trend line of this rising wedge, this long-term rising wedge. So though this pattern is small, it really plays into a larger pattern, a very large pattern that could create a very large bullish move for Bitcoin if we break through it, right? So, and here it is, this whole area of 9,200 where we are right now, up to $10,000. The next $800, there's a lot of resistance there. If Bitcoin breaks above that, if we get a bullish move, it's going to start with breaking through this ascending triangle up to 10,000. If we manage to break 10,000, I see the target of 12,000 being way easier, coming way quicker. And that could be in an environment of Bitcoin becoming pretty overbought, right? So we might not hang up there in the 12,000 plus range if it happens. However, the possibility of reaching that range is very real right now. I just want to throw that out there. If we look at, for context, when we broke through this other rising wedge, Bitcoin making its really big move as we broke out of that wedge. That's not the right tool. Bitcoin breaking out of that wedge right here, we can even say when we broke out of the upper trend line here, we saw some 40% gains, right? So if Bitcoin makes another similar move, I'm not saying we'll get 40% gains, but it gives you an idea of where 40% is, and it is right around our target, right? If you look at the momentum oscillators, the RSI, the stock RSI, all very synergistic with what was going on back here when Bitcoin had a breakout, right? There's our RSI, momentum to the upside, same amount of room. Here's our stock RSI, momentum to the upside, momentum to the upside. A lot of similarities. So there's a possibility we get a nice bullish break for Bitcoin. However, we got to wait. We got to see. This could be Bitcoin right now consolidating to get a little bit of a consolidation, right? So keep an eye what trend line, what part of this pattern we're breaking through. There's always potential either way. These are our targets, at least to the upside. Something to give you an idea for a little bit more of a bullish video with bullish targets, but it definitely keeps it exciting watching Bitcoin. Let me know your thoughts below. I hope you're doing well out there. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.